In a region long marred by conflict, the Middle East stands at a critical juncture. Israel's recent airstrikes in southern Lebanon have intensified tensions, targeting Hezbollah's rocket launchers and weaponry. Concurrently, Israel maintains a strategic presence at 5 key points along the Lebanon border, raising concerns about potential escalations. Elsewhere, reports indicate that a potential face-to-face meeting between US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin could take place over the next couple of weeks as part of the ongoing negotiations to end the Russia-Ukraine war. Welcome to In Focus.
كل المستهدفين هن مدنيين.
وضع شيء مرعب، شيء بخوف.
Israel's occupation army launched airstrikes in southern and northern Lebanon, claiming to target Hezbollah weapon sites, including rocket launchers. The strikes, which came as Lebanon prepared for the mass funeral of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, was framed as a response to imminent threats and a violation of ceasefire agreements. Despite a fragile ceasefire established in November 2023, Israel remains positioned at 5 strategic points in Lebanon, citing Hezbollah's non-compliance with the withdrawal terms. This situation raises concerns about potential escalations, especially with Hezbollah's continued presence in southern Lebanon. The ongoing conflict, ignited by Hezbollah's attacks on Israel and Israel's military actions, has caused significant casualties on both sides, with hundreds killed, including civilians and Hezbollah operatives. The tension continues to threaten regional stability. Providing more analysis about the most recent situation in Lebanon, joining us from Beirut, Dr. Ahmed Younes, academic researcher and political analyst. A very warm welcome to In Focus, sir, and it's a pleasure to have you with us. Sir, given Israel's recent airstrikes in southern Lebanon, how do you assess the escalation in the region despite this fragile ceasefire that's taking place?
Good evening to you and to your audience. The recent Israeli airstrikes in southern Lebanon represent a clear escalation that threaten the fragile ceasefire established between the two sides. While Israeli justifies its action as defensive measures, these strikes undermine diplomatic efforts and increase tensions along the borders. Such military actions not only risk reigniting conflict, but also challenge the commitments made under the ceasefire agreement. This escalation raises concerns about regional stability and the potential for broader confrontations. Moreover, Israeli decision to maintain a military presence in 5 strategic locations with Lebanese territory adds to the complexity of the situation. These positions serve as both tactical advantages and for Israel and a source of political pressure on Lebanon. So while Israel, for example, claims they are necessary for security reasons, their continued presence violates Lebanon's sovereignty and contradicts the terms of the withdrawal. That justifies continued resistance. So to address these tensions, diplomatic channels must remain active with key international actors, including the United States and France, playing a mediating role. So Lebanon has engaged in discussions with these countries to ensure Israel's full withdrawal and uphold the ceasefire terms. So, however, if diplomatic efforts fail to yield the results, the ceasefire terms or the situation could
Okay,
further.
sir, with Hezbollah's resilience and the funeral of Nasrallah, which of course today representatives of Lebanon were on behalf of Prime Minister Nawaf Salam and President Joseph Aoun was Naguib Mikati, which were among the gathering. Do you foresee a shift in Hezbollah's strategy? And do you read that Hezbollah is trying to show that they are still as strong as they are and they are not being weakened under any situation?
Hezbollah's resilience in the face of Israeli military actions, coupled with the highly symbolic funeral of Hassan Nasrallah, could
So you're
signal
confirming
a
what I
shift
asked you,
in
sir. You're fine with what I said.
what?
You're confirming you're okay with what I said.
Yes, yes. Hezbollah has so far adhered to the ceasefire. Its leadership may evaluate its approach depending on Israel's actions and the broader regional context. I'm talking about, for example, the funeral today, which serves as a unifying moment for Hezbollah's supporters, could be take advantage to reinforce the group legitimacy and mobilize its base for potential future confrontation. So this could translate into increased military and intensified political movement or activities or recalibration of its alliance within Lebanon and the region.
Sir, do you see that Hezbollah is still supporting the Lebanese military in Lebanon on the border?
Hezbollah on the border?
Okay, sir, Israel remains entrenched at 5 key points in Lebanon. Could this be a political maneuver or is it claimed military necessity, sir?
Hezbollah must navigate a complex internal and external landscape. So Lebanon, for example, Lebanon now faces economic and political instability, which places pressure on Hezbollah to balance its military posture with political pragmatism. So the group's involvement in regional conflicts, particularly in Syria and its relation with Iran, also plays a role in shaping its strategic decisions. So any shift in Hezbollah's approach will likely be influenced by how regional powers, including the US and Iran, respond to evolving situation in Lebanon.
What are the broader implications of these ongoing tensions on Lebanon's internal stability and its fragile ceasefire with Israel, sir?
Just repeat the question, please.
Okay, sir. The question is, what are the broader implications of these ongoing tensions on Lebanon's internal stability and its fragile ceasefire with Israel?
Yes. Yes, the ongoing tensions between Israel and Hezbollah have profound implications for Lebanon's internal stability and the fragile ceasefire established in November 2024. So the recent decision by Israel to maintain a military presence in 5 strategic locations within southern Lebanon, beyond the agreed with the withdrawal deadline has been perceived by Lebanese leaders as a violation of the ceasefire terms, I mean, and infringement on national sovereignty. So this action has what we call it, it is political, with the political divisions within Lebanon, as various factions debate the appropriate response to what is viewed as a renewed occupation. So the presence of Israeli forces continues to displace residents in affected areas, hindering reconstruction efforts and prolonging humanitarian challenges. So the internal stability of Lebanon is further threatened by the recent assassination of Hezbollah's leader, as we know, Hassan Nasrallah. So in an Israeli airstrike, his death has created a leadership vacuum within Hezbollah, potentially leading to internal power struggles and shift in the group's strategic direction.
That was Dr. Ahmed Yunus, academic researcher and political analyst. Thank you very much for your special insights. And let's turn to the latest developments in Russia-Ukraine war. Amid the current developments, Russia's deputy foreign minister mentioned that preparations for a face-to-face meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin are underway. As reported by The Guardian, such meeting would mark a dramatic shift away from Western isolation of Moscow, which has been in place since the beginning of the Russia-Ukraine war. Russia's deputy foreign minister added that a possible Putin-Trump summit could involve broad talks on global issues, not just Ukraine. Meanwhile, Zelensky said his country would not accept any outcome of the talks since Kyiv didn't take part, where European allies also have expressed concerns that they have been sidelined. Delving more into this, joins us from New York, Ahmed Maharim, writer and political researcher. Welcome, sir, and a very warm welcome to In Focus. Sir, how significant is the potential summit between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin in terms of U.S. foreign policy? And could this meeting signal a broader shift in America's approach towards Russia?
Well, as President Trump, while promised his American citizen at the time of the election that as soon as he will be in the White House in power, he will do his effort to end this war between Russia and Ukraine. I think for the last couple of weeks, it shows like something make kind of irritation to the president of Ukraine. President Zelensky was not invited to the negotiation took place a couple of days ago in Saudi Arabia, as well as the upcoming meeting between the both President Trump and Putin. Mr. Zelensky will not be invited to attend. That makes...
Sir, he won't be invited, or he might be later invited, because if you are saying he won't be invited, this means that there is... that Trump is working, and I'm of course asking you, it's a question, is Trump working on changing the geopolitical dynamics of the entire global world, or of this specific war?
Well, it's a good question. I think according to Trump's view, he looked to the president of Ukraine as he is a dictator and he was not elected by his own people. So he would like to do as much as he can to remove him somehow, and he is not supposed to be involved with the negotiation. But I think
Sir,
that's
he did
something.
say so, but is this the truth?
Well, Trump has different views. Some of them are not exactly true, but that's what exactly he has in his mind. To what extent he said he has to leave Ukraine? Maybe he can leave and go to France, for instance. That's something like as if he's talking about Gaza problem. The Union Europe, 27 countries are very accurate and we concerned a lot about the future of Ukraine and how the war will be ended. So if President Trump would like to isolate Europe from the negotiation, that's something I don't think that it will be a good kind of policy. So let us see if what he's planning to do is going to be fact, or maybe he's going to change his mind very soon.
Let's see. Sir, given the current state of the war, what impact do you think the potential Trump-Putin meeting could have on the ongoing conflict? And is there any real potential for meaningful dialogue or peace talks?
Well, according to what Trump is planning to do, he doesn't want to go. He said, my policy is shifting away from Biden, kind of assist to the Ukrainian. The billions of dollars, the big amount of weapons and so on, I don't think Trump will go forward with that aid. The other thing, I think he found, according to him, that Europe is not as to be 4 years ago. Europe is weak. So he's trying as much as he could to push all sides in order he can gain a good future of relation between America and Russia. In case that will be on the account of the future of relation of Ukraine. Europe is not concerned that much with Trump in the main future. So I think what he is talking about, that maybe a kind of compromise can happen, that President Zelensky can approve or agree with what four big pieces of land already are occupied by Russian. They will not be going to be a draw, but maybe if Ukraine will agree that it cannot be involved anymore with the NATO, that something can be in the negotiation. But I think
okay, sir, can I interrupt you here and ask you a question, please? Sir, if Trump today is making a deal or is intending to make a deal with Ukraine to take minerals from Ukraine in return for what was paid for military aid, do you think this was not happening for the past 3 years under the Biden administration and that the minerals were already taken, or they were taking from the minerals in Ukraine?
Well, when you're talking about the deal, it is the way he said that $350 billion was spent from America.
500 billion or 350, sir?
And then he's asking if Zelensky can allow him to utilize $500 billion amount of very sensitive raw materials are on the ground of Ukraine. So the deal is really very clear that he is not concerned that much about the future of the country, how the Ukrainian people will deal with the upcoming, but he is talking mainly about how America can reflect back the investment or the money was spending. According to him, was no need to invest on that war.
Sir, the Ukrainian president, on the other hand, said that he and Donald Trump should meet to discuss an accord granting Washington access to Ukrainian natural resources before any meeting between Trump and Putin. What are your expectations from this potential meeting in light of the current tensions between both leaders?
I mean, there is so many possibilities that this kind of meeting will come up with some kind of positive kind of solutions to the area. European Union will not be easy to agree with what Trump and Russia are trying to do. Some kind of, compromise has to come out with those meetings. I hope so.
European countries have also expressed concerns about being sidelined, sir, in the ongoing US-Russia talks, which of course was not right to take place, sir. What do you think? And how might the US balance relations with both Russia and its European allies in the new diplomatic environment or in the new geopolitical dynamics that Trump is changing globally, sir?
Well, on the ground, globally, we will see how many countries are on the favorite of Trump to end the war.
How many,
And
sir? How many?
Well, I doubt much. Maybe he's hoping that Europe can assist. But in that regard, his hope will be something very.
Do you read, sir, that he thinks Europe can assist, or do you read that your narrative, that he is weakening Europe now?
What happened for the last 1 month, he was in power. There is so many executive orders commercially and politically was rejected from the other countries, Russia, China, I think also Canada, Mexico. But I think if he will go forward with that kind
Panama, sir.
I mean, difficult that what he is dreaming to do, it will be reflected badly on the future of American relation in the region.
But this still is in the future, sir. But when we talk now, as we talk in this episode, in this program, it is reflecting on the European Union and European countries, and he is weakening, or what do you think, of course, your narrative, sir? He's weakening European countries.
Okay, I think one of the good scenarios that European countries will have a kind of maybe a proper answer to reflect
back attack,
proper
sir.
Answer. Come again?
Back attack.
Yes. I think it's not easy for European Union after all this almost 2.5, almost 3 years. They cannot agree easily with what Trump is thinking about. It may be a kind of making Trump or Russian as well, President Putin, to think in a different way. I guess so.
Hopefully, sir, Secretary of State Marco Rubio emphasized that the talks were only the beginning of a larger conversation. What challenges or obstacles might prevent this dialogue from leading to substantial change in U.S.-Russian relations, sir?
Well, I think the relation will be somehow considered to be affected to a certain way, but both ways will have to be very much concerned about not to reach to the point that something can happen dramatically to put both countries and the discussion in a difficult way.
Sir, I want you, please, in 10 seconds, because I have to wrap up, to tell me, what do you read, sir, from this situation and Donald Trump's reactions and his relationship with Russian President Vladimir Putin that changed suddenly?
Well, apart from his personal relation with President Putin in different, usually old agendas, but this agenda is very sensitive. I don't think that his own view to the matter will help to get a proper solution to the matter. He has to rely on a very good academic different views, plus some kind of advice has to come to him from his own cabinet. But his own view himself, I don't think it will help in the future of the solution of the matter.
Okay, sir. Of course, reports indicate that a potential face-to-face meeting between U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin could take place over the next couple of weeks as part of the ongoing negotiations to end the Russia-Ukraine war. Let's be hopeful that it ends, sir, and it ends on a very good note. That was Ahmed Maharem, writer and political researcher. Thank you very much, sir, for your fruitful insights and valuable knowledge and informative knowledge. We'll be watching closely. Stay with us for more critical insights. See you next time on In Focus.